Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marissa and I'm the creator behind Missouri Makes. Today I am going to be teaching you how to make the crochet fall hat, beanie, whatever you want to call it. It's a hat. But I'm going to show you how to make this. I've already posted pictures on Instagram and Facebook on where to find this. And I'll go ahead and put it on for you. Now, what you need to know is the pattern is written for a size 22-inch head, but you can make it smaller by leaving out an increased round. You can make it smaller by taking out an increased round, or if you need to make it bigger for whatever reason, you can add an increased round. The yarn that is used in this is my own hand-dyed yarn. That's the first version that I made. You'll have to excuse the ends because I haven't hidden them yet. This is the second version. Again, my own hand-dyed yarn. And that is what that looks like. Now, this pattern includes V-stitches and it includes popcorn stitches. Popcorn stitches and V-stitches both are double crochet based. So if you know how to do a double crochet, we can do this together. There's half double crochet and half double crochet in the third loop. You will learn how to do a magic ring. If you don't want to do a magic ring, you can always take and chain and create a circle. It don't matter to me. I do a magic ring because I don't always put a pom-pom. I don't always put a pom-pom on my hats and I don't want a hole up there. So, I make sure that I do a magic ring so there's no hole. And then we've got the ribbing that we add later. This hat is made from the top down. The supplies you will need. Sorry for the cars. The supplies you will need is a 5mm crochet hook, which is a size H. You will need between 2 to 250 on sport weight yarn, 200 to 250 yards of sport weight yarn. This is just my hand-dyed yarn, and this is the yarn that I use in the tutorial to make this hat. And this is the hat that I make in the tutorial. Only other thing that you will need is your written pattern. Now this video is a supplemental video, which means that I go through the rounds that are, okay, like this right here. The rounds that have a description, I take and do that round with you. But I don't go through every round. I show you each specific round. Like I show you how to do the half double crochet round. I show you how to do the popcorn and the V-stitch round. I show you how to do those. But I don't repeat those rounds whenever it's time, because if, as you see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds of popcorn. I believe I only show you how to do 1 round of those 4 rounds. So, having the pattern will be helpful. Where you can find the pattern. The pattern is available on my Ravelry shop, and it will be linked down in the description box down below. And, yeah. I think that is all that we need to know. Size 22-inch hat. As long as you know the basics, we can do it. Come on, let's go to the table and make the hat. Okay, to get started, you are going to need a size H hook, which is a 5mm crochet hook. You are going to need your sport weight yarn. This yarn here is just my own personal hand-dyed yarn. And you are also going to need your pattern. So let's go ahead And the pattern says to start with a magic ring. A magic ring, for me, the way I do it is I take my yarn and wrap it around my 2 fingers like that. That's what it should look like. I take my hook and I go under the first loop, over the second, pull that second one underneath the first one, and I'm going to twist it just like that. And then I'm going to take my working yarn here and I'm going to pull it through that, and it's going to secure it so that I have a magic ring. Now for row or round 1, we are going to put 10 double crochets in the magic ring and then slip stitch to the first stitch made and then chain 1. So we have essentially a chain 1 here, and I am going to place 10 double crochets into this magic ring, making sure that I crochet over this working strand right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and if you start to lose some of that tail there, you can just pull on it and it'll go in. Okay, so we had 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let me count them and make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I'm going to take this strand here, I'm going to pull on it, and it'll cinch that up so that there is no hole for the center of your hat. This hat is worked from the top down, so we don't want a hole to be there. And then we're going to slip stitch to the first stitch made, and we have 10 double crochets into this magic ring so far. Let's go ahead and go to round 2. Round 2 says to put 2 double crochets in every stitch around, and then slip stitch to the first stitch made. That will make you have 20 double crochets into this circle here. So we're going to chain 1 because the end of round 1 says to chain 1, and then we're going to place 2 double crochets into every stitch. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so go ahead and go all the way around and we'll meet back up at the end. Okay, I have finished my round 2 and slip stitched to the first double crochet that I made. Make sure you count your stitches and make sure you have 20 stitches or 20 double crochets at the end of round 2. Let's go to round 3. Now on round 3 we have a repeat. There you will see an asterisk which will it will indicate your repeat. So the beginning is where the first asterisk is and the ending is where the second asterisk is. And in the pattern it says 1 half double crochet in the first stitch, 2 half double crochets in next, repeat from to end, slip stitch to first stitch made, and then chain 1. So what this means is we are going to chain 1, which is the ending of round 2, and then you're going to place 1 half double crochet into this first stitch. and then it goes on to say 2 half double crochets in next stitch. So we are going to half double crochet twice into this next stitch, and that is where the asterisk ends. So what that means is, okay, we're going to go back to the beginning where the first asterisk is, and it says 1 half double crochet in first stitch. What that means is you're going to place 1 half double crochet into the next stitch, and then you're going to place 2 half double crochets into the next. And essentially what you're doing is you're putting an increase in every other stitch around, which will give you 10 more increases, which should make you have 30 stitches at the end of this round. So you should have 30 half double crochets whenever you are done with this round. Go ahead and finish round 3, and we will meet back up to go on to round 4. Alright, I am coming up on the end here, and I just wanted to point out before I finished, I have 28 stitches, and your last stitch here should be an increase. If you start with 1 stitch in the first stitch and then 2 stitches, then you should end with 2 stitches. So if we started with an increase, then we should end with 1 stitch. If we started with 1 stitch, we should end with an increase. And so this last stitch, you should have 2 half double crochets in for a total of 30. Slip stitch to the first that you made and chain 1, and that is the end of round 3. On to round 4, and in this round at the beginning it will tell you it is the 3rd loop only round, which means that if you don't already know, half double crochets have 3 loops on it. And what that means is when you're looking at the stitch, you have your front loop, you have your back loop, and then if you tilt it just a little bit more, you have your 3rd loop. And so round 4 is a 3rd loop only round. So that means that you are only going to work in this loop here all the way around. So again, we have a repeat. Let me get some yarn here. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to bump you. Okay, so we're going to start round 4, and round 4 starts with the asterisk, and it says 1 half double crochet in 2 stitches. That means we are going to place 1 half double crochet into this first stitch, and we're going to place 1 half double crochet into the next stitch. And then it goes on to say 2 half double crochets in the next. So this next stitch here, oh, I did not do 3rd loop only. Okay, let's try that again. We are going to do 3rd loop only, this first stitch, 3rd loop only in the second stitch, and then the next stitch is an increase. So we're going to do 2 half double crochets into this 3rd stitch. Okay, and that's where the asterisk ends. So we're going to go back at the beginning where it says 1 half double crochet in 2 stitches. So remembering to do the 3rd loop only, we are going to place 1 half double crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then we are going to place 2 half double crochets into this next stitch. And so what this means is the last round we increased every other stitch. For this round we are increasing on the 3rd stitch. and you're going to continue this all the way around until we meet back at the end, and we will go on to round 5. Alright, I am here at the end, and I'm on my last stitch, and on this last stitch I should end with an increase, and my stitch count is right, so I am ending on an increase, and I'm going to slip stitch to the first stitch I made and chain 1, and that is the end of round 4. We are going to go to round 5. Round 5 is the V-stitch round, and if you don't know what a V-stitch is, you can look back at your pattern in the stitch dictionary and the special stitches, and it will explain exactly what a V-stitch is, or you can continue with round 5 and watch me, and you can learn it right here on this video. I'm sure I've got a video specifically for V-stitch as well. If I don't, I will get one up. Okay, it says to V-stitch in the same stitch, and so I'm going to, oops, I'm trying to center myself in the camera. Double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into that same stitch. I'm going to skip 1 stitch, and then we start on an asterisk, which means that we have started our repeat, and it says V-stitch in the next stitch. So we're going to skip this next stitch and go into this one, and we're going to do a V-stitch. Double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. And then it's going to say skip 1 stitch and then V-stitch in the next, and that is our repeat. So we are actually increasing, because a V-stitch, we've got the double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. This chain 1 and this both double crochets all count as a stitch. So we've got 3 stitches here all in one, and we are only skipping 1. So we are increasing quite a bit in this round. It says that we should have 60 stitches once we are done. So you go ahead and do this round, which is skip 1 stitch and then V-stitch in the next. Skip 1 stitch, V-stitch in the next. So we went from 40 stitches to 60 stitches. So we increase in this round 20 stitches, which is quite a bit. So go ahead and finish up, and we will meet back here. Alright, so I am here at the end, and you should have 1 stitch left, and we are going to skip that stitch and slip stitch to the first double crochet that we made, and then we are going to chain 1, and that is what round 5 should look like. Let's go on to round 6. Now round 6 says to half double crochet into the same stitch. So this double crochet here, we are going to half double crochet, and then we've got the asterisk. So this is where our repeat starts. It says to pop, which means popcorn, stitch into this chain 1 space. So popcorn is 5 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this loop here that is on your hook. The easiest way I know how to do it is to place that loop on your pointer finger of your left hand, or if you are left-handed crocheter, then it would be on your right hand. And then you're going to count back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Place your hook into that first double crochet that you made, and then insert your hook back into that loop and pull that loop through. And then we are going to take and half double crochet into the next 2 stitches, which are the double crochets. You may have to take and pull that back a little bit so that you can see that double crochet, and you're going to half double crochet into that stitch and the next double crochet, which brings you back to the chain 1 space, and we are going to do a popcorn in that one. I'll show you again what a popcorn looks like. 5 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all in that chain 1 space. Then we are going to take this loop and extend it out and place it on your pointer finger where your working yarn is coming from. You're going to count back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, insert your hook into that stitch and pull that loop, pull that loop through, which makes that pop out. And if the popcorn is on the wrong side, you can just take your finger and it'll pop out. Either way, you can fix it. And then we are going to half double crochet into the next 2 stitches. This round we do no increases, so at the end of this round you should have 60 stitches, and that is all you do. We are back at a chain 1 space, so I'm going to do a popcorn. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There we go. And you're going to do this all the way around. Now, if you're having trouble understanding the popcorn stitch, you can always take and click on the gears icon on this video and slow the video down, and my hands, the motion will slow down so that you can watch it if you need to. If not, then you go ahead and continue all the way around and we will meet back up. Alright, I am at the end of round 6, and I have done my last popcorn, and then you should have 1 half double crochet left, which goes in this double crochet here. And then you will look for the first half double crochet you made and slip stitch to it. And that, my friends, is what round 6 should look like. Because we did a popcorn round, this round here, you should not increase. You should still have 60 stitches when you're done. Let's go ahead and go to round 7. Alright, so we just finished round 6. You should have 60 stitches. Now we're going to go on to round 7. Okay, round 7 is an easy round. All you do is half double crochet in every stitch around. So I'm going to chain 1 to start my round. I'm going to half double crochet into that stitch, that same stitch that the chain 1 was coming from. I'm going to half double crochet in every stitch. And this round here, we will not be increasing at all. So you should end with 60 stitches in this round. And that will complete round 7. I will meet back up with you when we reach the end. Alright, so I have finished round 7. I'm going to slip stitch to the first half double crochet that I made and chain 1 to finish it. and then we are going to go on to round 8. And when you look at the pattern, round 8 says that it is a third loop only round. And this round we will be increasing. So to start the round, it says half double crochet in the same stitch. So that means I'm going to go into the third loop of that stitch. I'm going to half double crochet. 1 half double crochet in 5 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Two half double crochets in the next stitch. Okay, so that's the repeat for this round is 1 half double crochet in 5 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 2 half double crochets in the next stitch. So 1, 2, and then you're going to continue 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then 2 half double crochets in the next stitch. 1, 2, and you will continue this all the way around, and we will meet back up at the end. Alright, so I have made it to the end of round 8, and in the pattern it says that you should have 6 stitches left, and it says to half double crochet in each of the last 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we'll slip stitch to the first half double crochet made and chain 1. You should have 69 stitches after this round. Let's go ahead and go to round 9, which is a V-stitch round. And for this one, you will be increasing again. So we are going to V-stitch into the same stitch that our chain 1 is coming from. So we're going to put a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, all in that same stitch. Skip the first stitch, and then V-stitch in the next stitch. So skip 2 stitches, skip, skip, V-stitch in the next stitch. Okay, and then we are going to skip 1 stitch, and then it's going to take us right back to the repeat, which is V-stitch in the next stitch. So our repeat for this round, you're going to skip 1 stitch, V-stitch in the next, and then you'll skip 2 stitches, and then V-stitch in the next, skip 1, V-stitch, skip 2, V-stitch. Let's go ahead and do another set. Okay, so we've already skipped 1, and then V-stitch. Now we're going to skip 2. 1, 2, V-stitch in the next. Okay, since we skipped 2, this time we're going to skip 1 and then V-stitch in the next. And then we will skip 2 the next time, so skip, skip, and we will put a V-stitch in the next. And you're going to continue this all the way around. You are increasing in this one, so we will go from 69 stitches to 84 stitches in this round. I will meet back up with you here at the end. Alright, I am at the end of round 9, and at the end it says I should have 1 stitch left. And what we're going to do is we are going to skip this stitch, slip stitch to the first double crochet made, and chain 1. We should have 84 stitches after this round. Now, the next round, which is round 10, it says that we are going to repeat round 6. Round 6 is the popcorn round. I'm going to let you go ahead and do round 10, 11, 10 and 11, which is round 6 and round 7, and then we will come back for round 12, and I will show you what to do there. All of the repeat rounds I'm going to let you do yourself, and the rounds that we explain what to do, I will do with you. So go ahead and do round 10 and round 11, and on round 12 we will come back and go again. Alright, so I have finished round 10 and 11. I am going to slip stitch to the first stitch made, and I'm going to chain 1, and now we're going to go on to round 12. Round 12, what I'm going to do is half double crochet around, and then we will slip stitch to the first stitch made. Oh, my bad. It is a third loop only round, so we will be doing half double crochet all the way around, third loop only. Oops, cut too many. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to go and do 1 half double crochet in every stitch, third loop only, all the way around, and then we'll meet back up. We won't be increasing anymore on this round, and quite honestly, let's see, yeah, we are done increasing. This is as big as it's going to get for the 22-inch head size. So I'm going to continue going around, half double crocheting in each stitch, third loop only, and I will meet back up here at the end. Alright, so I have finished round 12, and let's go on to round 13. Round 13 is a V-stitch round, so I'm going to chain 1 to start my round, and then V-stitch in first stitch, which means this stitch here that the chain 1 is coming from, I'm going to V-stitch in it. Just like that. And then it says to skip 2 stitches, skip, skip, and then here's where the repeat starts. It says V-stitch in the next stitch. So skip 2, skip, skip, And in the third one, we're going to V-stitch. Okay, and then it says skip 2 stitches, and that's where the repeat ends. So we're going to skip those 2 stitches, skip, skip, and then we are going to start back at the beginning of the repeat, which says to V-stitch in the next stitch. So skip 2, skip, skip, and go to the third one, and V-stitch. Skip 2, 1, 2, V-stitch in the third one. Skip 2, 1, 2, V-stitch in the third one. And that is what you will do all the way around. And this will be the last round that we do together, because the rest of the rounds are repeat rounds. So you're going to finish round 13, and then rounds 14 through 20 are repeat rounds. And I'm going to let you go ahead and refer back to your pattern to do rounds 14 through 20 for the repeat rounds. And then once you get those complete, we'll come back for the ribbing, and I will show you what we do for the ribbing. Okay, so I have finished the body of my hat. I have went through rounds 14 through 20 and finished the body, and now we're going to go on to the ribbing. I just wanted you to kind of be able to see what we have here. You should end on a half double crochet, third loop only round to finish off the body here. Okay, let's go ahead and zoom in and start the ribbing. Alright, so I have the last bit of my yarn here, and I'm going to use the same crochet hook that I used for the body of my hat. And for the ribbing portion, it says to chain none. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And it says to single crochet in the second chain from the hook. So that would be this one here. And we're going to single crochet. Now it says to, hold on. It says single crochet in second chain from hook and each chain across. So we're going to single crochet into the other stitches or the other chains, and we should have a total of 8 single crochets. Okay, let's count our crochets real quick. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now it says to slip stitch into the same stitch the chain is from. So this stitch here where the chain is coming from, I'm going to slip stitch into it. And then it says slip stitch into the next stitch. So the next stitch over, I am going to slip stitch into. And then chain 1. And that was round 1 for the ribbing. Okay. Now, since we chained 1, we're going to turn our work, and we're going to work back across this here. So it says on round 2 to skip the slip stitches. So skip, skip, and we're going to single crochet back loop only in each stitch. So we should have 8 single crochets when we're done. So let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, chain 1, turn your work, and that was round 2. Let's go, oops, sorry, I didn't mean to bump you. Let's go on to round 3. We're going to single crochet back loop only in the same stitch and each stitch across. So this is 1 stitch. We should have 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Alright, so next it says to slip stitch into the next 2 stitches of the hat. So we slip stitched into this stitch here, and we slip stitched into this stitch. We're going to go to the next stitch, slip stitch into it, and it says to do that twice, so we're going to go to the next stitch and slip stitch to it. And essentially what this does, see, you're going to chain 1 and you're going to turn and you're going to work back onto this ribbing here, and that is going to be a row. And then you're going to chain 1 and turn and come back this way. That's going to be a row. That counts as 2 rows for your ribbing. Therefore, you slip stitch to 2 stitches on your hat to count for 2 rows. And that's the way you're going to do it all the way around. Let's go ahead and do it one more time. Chain 1, turn, and you're going to skip the slip stitches, skip, skip, and you're going to single crochet back loop only into the next 8 single crochets. So that was 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. You're going to chain 1, turn your work, single crochet back loop only in the next 8 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you'll take and find the next 2 stitches on your hat and slip stitch into them. Just like that. And then you'll go chain 1, turn, and go back across your ribbing and come back, chain 1, turn, and come back. And that is the way you're going to do the ribbing. And I will leave you to it. You will repeat row 2 and row 3 for the remainder of your ribbing. And then you have an option of either slip stitching, because you'll have this end here, and then you'll have this end here at whenever you come to the other side of your hat. And so you have an option to slip stitch across and join them together that way, or you can cut a long enough tail to whip stitch it, or however you want to sew it together. Your choice on how you want to do that. But I will leave you to it. That is all I have for this video. If you found this supplemental video helpful, or you liked it, don't forget to like and subscribe. That way you never miss another video from Missouri Makes. The ad-free written instructions for this pattern here are linked in the description box down below so that you can grab you a copy of it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments section, and I will answer them as soon as I can. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you another day.